name is Deundrick here at Tampa Bay Academy of Hope. I've been here since 2019. I'm a program manager for the adult reentry program, Pathways. I have two kids,
Okay.
two daughters.
Nice.
One is 19, the other one is 26.
Okay.
And the beautiful thing about the 26-year-old, great thing about the 19-year-old, she don't have kids yet,
Yeah.
but the 26-year-old have 4 kids. So I
Wow.
have to be honest with you, I don't have biological kids.
Okay.
The two daughters that I have, I obtained them and became their father during my marriage.
Okay.
And the one was 3 and the other one was 13.
Okay.
And they grew to be my kids. They're
That's
my daughters.
Mhm.
I love them. I love them. So it's pretty cool. Well, I can tell you this one story that really touched my heart. As when I met my wife at the time, she had a daughter, and I was able to meet her daughter, and the daughter was Amani, Kalisa, that's her name, but I call her Nemo, was 3. And during the time we was bonding, and I started seeing her on the weekends, spending time with her, playing in the yard, doing different things. One day, she was like, "Can I call you Dad?" Uh, I was flabbergasted. I was like in shock because I felt kind of good on the inside, but I didn't know if the mother had her to say that. So I went in, ran quickly, called her mother, said, "Hey, you tell Nemo to call me Dad?" She said, "No, I did not. Did you?" I said, "No." I said, "Man, she want to call me Dad." And she was like, and I was like, "Oh, I love it." And from that day forward, she called me Dad. And I actually stepped up the ante, that this young girl here want to call me Dad. The older one took a little minute because, of course, it's middle school.
Yeah.
But she began to call me Dad, and I knew I had to step up to the role to be their father, and I never turned back to this day.
That's awesome.
Actually, when that got thrown on me, that now that they're calling me, their dad, it made me, step up even more. Meaning, that's when you get involved with everything she had going on, or they had going on, from being the t-ball coach to the fast pitch softball coach to actually being the more hands-on tutor with the older one because she used to struggle in school. Really being that father figure that you're calling me dad. My role as a dad is all in, non-inclusive, meaning I'm dad. No matter where I go, I'm her father. I'm her dad. Your terminology changes, how you treat them changes, how you just, you have no residue that I'm a stepfather. And that was something about me that during that time, uh, we didn't use that term, that I'm a stepfather. I'm your dad. I'm your father. Because the love that I showed them and the responsibilities of a true dad, a true father, I didn't miss a beat in that area. So I'm not a stepfather. And to this day, they don't even use that term. I'm still their dad. Even though now they know their dad and all that, and I encourage that. But 100%, they come to me with everything that a father or dad, that their daughters would come to them with. Meet their first boyfriend. Should they date this guy? Should they, even to this day. So
That's awesome.
it's a blessing.
What
When you have to discipline, it became, in my case, when they're not your biological kids, how do you discipline? I grew up and I felt and believed you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So it wasn't like I'm saying I'm finna, beat my kids or anything. It was just, it came to a narrative that I had to truly be the full-fledged dad. And that was the toughest challenge there. The responsibilities is now saying, I'm not your friend, but be a, relationship like a friend,
100%.
but to distinguish the friend dad role, because the older one was the challenge, because When the disciplinary time when they're in middle school, she would throw, "You're not my dad. You're not my father." Baby don't know nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you navigate the baby who's saying, "Hands down, you my dad, you my father. I don't know anyone else," compared to someone who knew someone else? That was the biggest challenge for me. But I had to hold to the principles of I'm still your father. I'm still your dad. I'm not gonna change it, even though you're saying that I'm not your real father, your real dad. I'm gonna still hold my hands to the plow and give you the responsibilities and treat you as my responsibilities. If it's discipline, if it's blessing you for your birthday, nothing wavered, nothing changed on my side. So that was the toughest challenge for me. And even to piggyback off of that, for you saying that, even now that they've become older, um, they share back to me, "Thank you. Remember the time you disciplined me for X, Y, and Z." They appreciate it. Or now the older one has her kids. She like tells me, "I see what you mean. I can't let them get away with everything. I have to, reel them back in and show them the right way." So that's the way that I did teach them and raise them up. They are stronger now because they're able to stand on their feet. They're able to understand adversity. They're able to understand that if I put myself in a situation, take the correction and get myself out of it, instead of always looking to mother or father, especially dad, to come save me.
Yeah.
And then, me, I'm a firm believer. I'm always ask God for wisdom, Lord. You created this child. Give me the wisdom how I can be a great parent, how I can be a great father, because I don't have all the answers. And then if I'm ever was too rough or felt, see, the thing about it, what is too rough? If you feel yourself knowing, and maybe that was a little over the top, or if your wife or someone tell you, say, "Hey, man, you was a little rough with him." You know what I mean? I always knew to go back to correct, to make sure, hey, this is why I was that way. Now, I'm wrong for being that hard and being that, I'm not wrong for why I'm disciplining you or what I mean. I'm just trying to push you harder. I go to, to reiterate what I was saying, why I did what I did. And that goes a long way too. And they be like, "Thank you for that." Some parents be like, "It is what it is." Yeah, but you've been in resentment. That kid's is really disliking you, and you should go back and apologize. It's okay. As a parent, I believe it's okay to tell your kid, "I'm sorry. I came across a little rough." And that goes a long ways. I'm always told that, you know what I mean? If no one else is going to encourage yourself, encourage yourself. You have to take it. If no one else is going to encourage your kids, encouragement should come from the parents. If the world's not encouraging them, they should know that, hey, my dad is encouraging. And I believe that's why so many fatherless kids, fatherless homes, end up being incarcerated, end up making poor choices, end up being out there on drugs or just by the wayside left, because their father figure, their dad, needs to be somewhere in their lives. Man, mothers are great. Mothers are awesome. They can raise boys. They can do all these great things. But when a father's missing out the home, you see the statistics. It's a downfall. Some type of male figure, the father figure, needs to be in a daughter or a male's life, because I believe that's just how God has it, and you're going to be stronger when you have that. If it's the grandfather, if it's the uncle, they would need that in their lives. So the encourager should be that father, that dad. So I tell my daughter, "You're beautiful." You know what I mean? That really looks good on you. You know what I mean? You know what, money? You know what? Even though you didn't win, because she did pageants, I'd be like, even though you didn't win, you still the queen. You know what I mean? You won in my eyes. Let's go back and get it next year. And just kind words like that, that builds them up. And then when you discipline, they understand I did do wrong. They know I'm not coming down on them. So that's a great point, and that's how I practice to live my life with my daughters or any kids anyway, any kids. Well, when that moment came, it was a beautiful moment. Of course, her at a young age, she was 19, just turned 19, and I received it as an opportunity to say, "Hey, I kind of knew that we're gonna have to help her. She's 19. I was all arms wide open, telling my ex-wife um, we could get the baby. Um, so now I said, baby, I said, but at 6 months, she came at 5 months. Oh man, just to see from 5 months until she was like uh, a year. She stayed with us a whole year. She was about 16 months. To see how she evolved, to see her take her first steps, just to be Poppy to her, and that's who I am today. I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. No matter what, he was there, and they can count on me. No matter what, Poppy was there, Dad was there, and they can count on me. That my yes was a yes, and my no was a no. And I always used to tell them, I got your back. If they're playing a game, if they're at a pageant, if they having problems at school, I'm gonna be there. When they look up and see, I'm there. That right there, trust me, I'm never too busy to be there for my kids. I know in advance, trust me, I'm off for that. Unless it was no means necessary. And they was like, good with it. We understand. But other than that, I'm gonna be there. Go to graduating preschool, going to kindergarten. That's a graduation. Be there. Kindergarten to first grade. Be there. You know what I mean? Those birthdays. Be there. You don't, because we live our lives, no matter who we are. In 2019 or 20, whatever year, I'm only going to tell you about the moments. I can't tell you 365 days, but I can tell you, remember back in 1992, remember back in moments. We remember from our parents, moments. But if a parent has always been there in all of the moments, that's a great parent. That kid has something, you need to be there. Don't let nobody stop you from that. Because I remember my father, that's why I know God did something in my life. I was raised by a stepfather. He wasn't my biological father, but I never used stepfather. But he married my mother at a young age. He was for every moment I had, all the way till they dropped me off to go to college to play D1 football. Even when the time I was transferring, leaving that school after 2 years to go to the Navy, I know Frankfurt, the first day he took me to the ball field. The first time he showed me how to take a shot. First time he baited a hook to show me. The first time he gave me a talk about girls. Just moments. Was he always perfect? No. But he was to me because he was there for every moment. It's not about giving them everything, because you got to be able to tell a kid no. You got to let them sometimes earn for what they're getting. The saying that people say, I want them to always have more than I had. That's a curse and a blessing. You understand? Because sometimes, how do you not know that God maybe don't want them to have that at this time, but you've given them the world. They're never going to work for that. You're never telling them no. So when a job rejects them or they didn't get the bonus, you know what I mean? They just need you to be there. And to segue off of that, I'm blessed to tell you my biological father, because like I told you, stepfather raised me. But my biological father, this year will be the first year ever I will be able to have a Father's Day dinner or say face-to-face handshake, hug, whatever we do, happy Father's Day with my biological father.